question, except the person asking was my therapist. And all that she was referring to were the number of mental illnesses and physical conditions that I suffer from. So I told her it was humbling. I'm really not sure how you reply. But she's not wrong. The medical professional was not wrong. I do a lot of shit. Which I will now list for your sympathy. I have severe depression, anxiety, social anxiety, and obsessive compulsive disorder. But I like to just call it the works. I'm really glad you guys laughed at that because the crisis counselor at CAPS did not find it as funny. I'm not bipolar. It runs in my family, so I consider myself pretty lucky that I didn't have it. But my doctor told me about a week ago, and I quote, "You're not out of the woods yet." So we have that to listen to. One thing I know that I don't have is body dysmorphia. For those of you who don't know what that is, that's like, think the cousin of anorexia. I know I don't have that because a couple years ago I went to the doctor and I was diagnosed with body dysmorphia. And hold on. So I get diagnosed. Sorry, you got it. And I go out to the waiting room. I find my mom, and I tell her, I say, "Hey, Mom, they say I have body dysmorphia," and she says, and I'll never forget this. She says, "No." And I said, "What?" And she said, "No, Clara, you have too many already." So I just crossed it off the list. Washed my hands of it. It still leaves me with a ton of stuff, you know? And so like right now I'm really fucking depressed. I hope you can tell because this is a cry for help. And I really wish I was one of those cool depressed people, you know, like who could do something artistic with it or like turn to drugs and alcohol. I think those are cool. But unfortunately I can't. I'm actually on 2 medications right now, both of which have these huge yellow labels that read, "Do not consume with alcohol, Clara." And when you've got 2 of those labels, that's what we in the medical community call a strong suggestion. So I don't do alcohol, I don't drink. But I did in high school because I was smarter then. And that always worked out well, every single time. Just kidding. I'd get really drunk really fast, and then I'd have my friends walk with me, like outside the party, like up and down the sidewalk, and I'd employ this sort of method I like to call the Little League Dad method, where you just sort of yell at yourself, "Walk it off, son!" And then someone slaps you on the ass, you get back in there, takes you off, puts you on the bench, you're humiliated, and you don't go out to pizza with the rest of the team at the end of the game. When that strategy inevitably did not work, I know I am just as surprised. I would get very severe hangovers. So one time I was hungover for 3 days and I lost 10 pounds, which if I had body dysmorphia, I would be psyched about. So because alcohol is not really an option for me, I had to go more of a mainstream route. I'm a very big fan of Big Pharma. You do not hear that a lot, but I am. I love medication. I've been medicated since I was in 6th grade. It's awesome. And one of the great things about medication that they don't tell you is that you can blame anything on side effects. Like anything you don't like about yourself suddenly becomes a side effect. You know, so like, for example, my insomnia or my profuse sweating and clammy hands or my emotional unavailability. These are all side effects and not, in fact, personal character flaws. They always recommend you do therapy in conjunction with medication, so I have. You know, I've done everything. I did play therapy when I was a kid. I did talk therapy, all that, CBT, DBT. I even did group therapy, which was wild. After doing all this, I can tell you with the utmost confidence but there is nothing worse than making a joke in your social anxiety group therapy group and no one laughs. Because just last session we were talking about awkward silences, and they're all in your fucking head, man. And so in this group, this social anxiety group therapy group, they, this is a group of individuals who are don't usually have the upper hand in social situations, so they are reveling in it. So we just sit in silence. I have a close friend, she also has depression, we'll text about it sometimes. It's usually just like, I'm sad, and she's like, me too! Very helpful. But she texted me the other day, and she's like, Clara, she was doing some research on mental illness and how the mentally ill were treated in the 1600s, and they were treated awfully. And she goes, Clara, it sucks that we have depression, but at least we weren't mentally ill in the 1600s. And I was like, yeah, definitely. But then I remembered that the average life expectancy for someone in the 1600s was like 20. And so I thought, yeah, I could do another year of this. You can do fucking anything for a year. That's fine, man. I got it. I never wanted to go to college, obviously, because of all the shit going on in my brain. I had to be convinced. So I was in an argument with my mom over the summer, and she makes the argument, or really the counter argument, that the fact that LeBron James didn't go to college is not, in fact, sufficient reason for me also to not go. So, touche. She won that one. I enrolled here at Santa Clara University, the Stanford of Silicon Valley. Very exciting. And I actually came to college during the same week that we had to put my grandmother in a memory care facility. She has dementia and Alzheimer's. Just testing to see if anyone laughed. Anyway, so we put her in the memory care facility, and I went to college during the same day, and I'm still not sure who was more upset and confused about the turn of events between the two of us. College has been okay. The depression's been worse, and so as a result, over the summer, I will be in a partial hospitalization program. That's what I'm looking for. But I had to apply to be in this partial hospitalization program, so I did an intake interview over the phone with one of the women at the facility, and we're doing the interview, and I've done so many intake interviews over the years. Like, I was answering the questions before she even asked them, which I thought showed initiative, but she called a red flag. So I don't know really what to think about that. At the end of the interview, though, she goes like, well, okay, Clara, we'll look over your file, we'll let you know what the results are, like, if you get in, we'll call you then. And so I hang up the phone, and two thoughts go through my head. The first is, I hope I don't get into this program, because, there's 6 weeks of my summer back, and, if this hospital doesn't take me, maybe I'm not that crazy. Maybe I'm not as crazy as I thought I was. Then the other part of me, the winner part, needed to get into this partial hospitalization program. It didn't just need to get in, I wanted merit scholarships. I wanted an acceptance letter that ended with, "You're so crazy, this just might work." And when I graduate from the program, like, I know they get like glass chalices or something here when you graduate, but maybe just sort of an engraved pillbox would be, I think that would be more than sufficient. I'm obviously very open about my mental illnesses, because I think it's hilarious. And I attribute a lot of that to my mom. She's a great lady, very unfortunate set of genes that she passed down to me, but I'm still keen on her. And my mom has this, one of her favorite pastimes is she likes to find celebrities that have the same mental illnesses that I do, and show them to me. And I'm not sure if she's trying to sort of like normalize the mental health stigma, or just sort of show off her internet proficiency. Have not decided on that one yet. Yeah, another one of my mom's favorite pastimes is she likes to watch basketball with me. I'm a really big basketball fan, big Warriors fan, Dubs and 4. Exactly the reaction I wanted. Anyway, yes, I love watching basketball, but I'm also just a big fan of the sport, you know, and the NBA. I saw this guy walking around the other day with a jersey that, you know, usually those jerseys they'll have like the team's logo on the front, the player's name and number on the back, or whatever. But this guy, he just had a shirt that just said NBA on it. He was just showing his love for the National Basketball Association, and I ate it up. So I love basketball, but it's not often that my love of basketball and my mental illnesses overlap in my life. But that all changed a couple months ago, thanks to one Mr. Kevin Love. For those of you who are unfamiliar, Kevin Love, he plays for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he had a panic attack during one of the first games of the second game of the season against the Atlanta Hawks. And as a mental health advocate, I was really upset because the game was against the fucking Hawks. Fucking seed 8 here. I mean, Jesus. It wasn't game 7, Kev. And so I was devastated, but I moved on with my life. But my mom, bless her heart, she tends to get news a little later than the rest of us. And so the Google News alerts that I'm positive she has set up for the terms basketball and mental illness must have pinged for the first time in never when this Kevin Love story came out. So I woke up one morning and my inbox was just full of articles about Kevin Love and DeMar DeRozan and like any basketball player who's ever used the word illness, essentially. And I'm reading through the emails, and then I get this call, my phone starts ringing, I pick it, I look at it, it's my mom, I pick it up, she doesn't even say hello, she just goes, "Clara, did you see? Kevin Love has anxiety too!"